Greg Clevin again, back with Sun on Sports, Sun Sports Show, featuring John Sherman to my right, Nick Clark to my left. And this segment will discuss the upcoming section boys basketball playoffs. The regular season for most high school boys basketball teams will conclude either Friday night or Saturday, and most of the seedings will be done by Sunday.
I think the tournament's going to be who gets to play in the championship game. I mean, Hopkins, is not going to lose in this tournament. It would be monumental upset. And Armstrong's head coach Greg Miller said that to me earlier in this year. He's like, that's what we're going to play for. He's like, if our kids can go out there and say you beat them, you'll remember that the rest of your life. And that's the mentality everybody has to take when they go up against them. But it's just a task that nobody's been up to so far. It'd be interesting to see though who gets the opportunity. And I think Wayzata, like you alluded to, will probably be the second seed. Armstrong just beat Wayzata the other night. Wayzata's had a better season start to finish, so they'll earn the seed. But Armstrong is going to be the 3 seed most likely, and which will make for an interesting semifinal game between Armstrong and Wayzata to see who gets the chance. And who knows on any given night. And we said it in our girls segment earlier about Armstrong losing to Minneapolis Southwest in the Section 6 or the quarterfinals. You got to play the game still, and who knows? Maybe it's a night where Hopkins gets a flat tire on the bus and they don't show up there to forfeit. Because that might be what it takes.
Looking farther ahead, I can force. Who do you think the top 4 seeds would be? Number 1, naturally Hopkins. Number 2, Henry Sibley. Number 3, Robbinsdale Cooper.
Number 3 is St. Cloud Tech.
St. Cloud Tech.
That's a
There's
team.
a sleeper
they
from
just
Nick.
beat Edina. They're not. I don't think they can be considered a sleeper. They haven't lost yet this year, and they
have they played anybody from the metro area?
Well, they just beat Edina earlier this week or late last week, and they played a couple other teams from down here. But their schedule really has them staying in Central Minnesota. They're in that conference that includes Alexandria and St. Cloud Apollo.
Good basketball conference.
It is a good basketball conference, and they got some nice rivals up there. I know Apollo's had a nice season up there. They're a Class 3A team, and they've had a couple barn burners up there that I imagine that's pretty exciting up there when those two teams meet. But Tech's coming down here with an experienced group. There's been some talk that this is the best St. Cloud Tech team in history.
Yes.
It just happens to be a year
better than way back and when they had Kevin Ham, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kevin Ham. Yeah.
Good player.
Names from the past.
Yeah, I know Kevin Ham quite well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, but another story, another day. But it'll be interesting. Yeah, St. Cloud Tech's got a nice team. Nate Walters will be a Mr. Basketball finalist.
St. Cloud Tech sounds like a Eden Prairie type of squad.
Yeah, they're probably better. They were third in the state tournament last year. They didn't lose hardly anything.
Right.
They beat Cooper for that, right? And
they looked impressive last year. I remember thinking that they were going to come back and, like you say, be a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and they are, and they will be. Like I said, it's just a year where it really seems to be Hopkins and everybody else.
Well, get your tickets quick. Like Marty O'Neill, the old professional wrestling announcer, said, these high school contests, especially when you get down to the sections, very exciting, family friendly as far as ticket prices. A lot of times free parking, free programs. You might have to fork over a couple of bucks for a hot dog and stuff, but it's just a lot of fun. And so far in all this section hockey playoffs that we've been to, it's been one sellout crowd after another.
And one barn burner after another. I mean, look at the games this week. Hill Murray and White Bear went to overtime. I was at the Coliseum Tuesday. Osseo and Blaine went to overtime. Centennial needed a last-minute goal to beat Maple Grove. I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of this in every sport the next couple of weeks. These kids, it's so much fun to watch them put as much heart and effort into these games. And they don't know any better. It's life and death to them at the time. And they'll get older and they'll realize that just enjoy the moment. But you see the emotion that comes out on both ends. These winning teams, and they're just overly excited for the opportunity to move on, and the losing teams and the seniors on that team, and it just comes pouring out of them. And it doesn't get much better at this level.
Just a reminder, we'll keep you posted daily on mnsun.com. The latest scores, highlights, a few blogs. We got Sun on Sports video. We appreciate you watching and reading. And we'll talk to you next week. We'll probably have some more info about the state boys hockey tournament, and
it will be underway.
And it'll be underway by then. So, thank you very much for watching.